everyone, my name is Dark and we are playing some Ark Mobile. Today I'm going to show you guys the top 7 defensive tames to have wandering around your base on aggressive, just for a little bit of extra comfort. And now there won't be a specific order to these, but they are all very good in their own ways. The goal here is to have tames that can essentially be unmounted. You can be online or offline, and the goal is for them to actually help defend your base against potential invaders. And that way when somebody tries to attack, you can kill them first. Let's go! Alright guys, the first defensive tame on this list is none other than the very aggressive, very strong, overpowered Raptor. Just kidding, they're not really overpowered, but they are great as defenders. Let me tell you why. They have a pounce attack that will pin any player onto the ground. You've probably had it done to you before by wild raptors. Why is this good? Because when someone's rocket running your base, which is usually done even while Quetzals are in the air and Tapagers in the air, usually there's people on the ground trying to rocket run. If you have a raptor running around, your raptor can pin them on the ground, lock them in place. The raptor won't kill them, but your turrets will. And as long as they're pinned, the rockets ain't going anywhere. If they launch a rocket at the raptor, they're going to die because they're going to blow a rocket up in their face. That is why these guys are good as defenders. And when you level them up, just put movement speed. You can breed them up as good as you want and whatever you want, but level the movement speed, make them fast, make them pin the players. Alright guys, and up next on the list of top 7 defensive tames, he's tough, he's rough, and he will deal out the damage to any enemy tames that get stuck. If you pin a Quetzal, he will destroy it. The TRex. Meet Dr. Stevens, everybody. These guys are good pretty much for what you can imagine. They have high damage output. They're not massive like Gigas. Now Gigas can be good defenders too. You can put a Giga on aggressive on Wander, but they're big and they kind of get in the way. I prefer a couple Rexes, but it also depends on if you have to worry about Titans getting into your base. If you have to worry about Titans, put a Giga on aggressive on Wander. If you don't have to worry about Titans, put a couple Rexes. Rexes deal a lot of damage, especially if you've bred them up and leveled up the melee. They do a lot of damage very quickly, so they are very good as defensive tames, not for the enemy rocket runners, the enemy players, but against the enemy tames. That's why they're good, that's why they're important. It is very beneficial to actually breed these guys. Most people will say T-Rexes. They're not really worth anything in Ark Mobile because there's no boss fights with tames. But for defense, they are worth it. They really are. So breed them up, get them in your defense. Alright guys, up next is kind of a newer tame. At least Ark Mobile. They are very difficult in the dungeons. Many regular dungeon players will tell you how these creatures suck to have to fight. The Troodon. Now, why are Troodons good as defenders? Let me tell you, they are very, very fast, and they apply torpor to the enemy players. Think about it. If you've got an enemy rocket runner that's running around, and you have a Troodon that's leveled exclusively in movement speed and is super fast, and it comes up to that enemy player and it bites them, or maybe say 2 Troodons come up and bite him, you'll knock him out very quickly. And as soon as that guy is knocked out, he's out of the picture. He's going to die from the turrets or stay knocked out until a turret has a chance to shoot him. Win-win. And it complements the Raptors perfectly because the Raptors will pin the enemy player and then the Troodons will knock him out. It's a great 1-2 punch. Trust me, I usually have 8 of these guys running around my base and I love it. Alright guys, up next is what is usually used as an offensive tame to take out enemy vaults and metal structures when there's no turrets around. The Arthropleura. Why would this be a great defensive tame? Well, they have turret mode. Just level up the melee, put a saddle on it. You don't even need a saddle technically, but put on turret mode, put aggressive, put high targeting range, and put ignore group whistles so you don't accidentally whistle with passive because you want this guy on aggressive. He will launch shots at the enemy. Unlimited, by the way. There's no ammo for this. Let's see if I can show you. It's hard to see there, but there you go. You see that? Now it's not fast. It really isn't. It's not a regular turret by any means, but it's still something. And remember guys, in Ark Mobile there is a turret limit of 10 in each certain area, so having these to support your turrets is great. I have 8 of them. Alright guys, and up next is one of my personal favorites. This would probably be in the top, honestly top 2, maybe top 1 in terms of defensive tame. None other, you kind of caught a glimpse there, but I will get there. I will show you who this guy is. The Keppra. The Keppra, I don't even know how to say it. Keppra Sutras, I think is how you say it, but it's the Keppra. Not the Sarco, the Keppra. Why are these guys important? Because they grab the enemy players. Similar to Raptors. Raptors pin the enemy players, these guys grab them and will run around with them. But when they grab them, 2 things happen. Number 1, it immobilizes them because they can't get out of it unless they kill the Keppra. And number 2, they slowly lose their stamina, and if they're trying to rocket run, they are drinking a beer, meaning less damage but quicker stamina degeneration. I highly suggest you get yourself some Keppras. And alright guys, so number 6 on this list is super secretive, super hidden, and most people use it to hide their implants and their good gear. But for us, for me, for Ark Mobile Gaming, I use them for traps. For defensive tame traps. The Arthropleura. Let me tell you why these guys are such an important defensive tame. Not just because they can actually pounce on you and attack you that way. It's not that it just does decent damage. It's primarily because it stuns you, and it doesn't just stun the player. And when I say the player, I'm talking about rocket running players, not the players that are mounted on tames. But it'll also stun the tames. If somebody's flying a Quetzal with a rocket turret on it, and it's flying close enough to the Arthropleura in range, the Arthropleura will pounce and not knock out, but it will stun the Quetzal, which dismounts the player. This is huge when you're talking about base defense, because if that Quetzal gets stunned, you can quickly go weight grapple the Quetzal, or your Rex and everything else can pounce on it. If the guy that gets dismounted gets thrown out of their little box structure, which they should probably have one, but if they do get thrown out, they're gonna get stunned or pounced on or trapped, which means you can kill him and the Quetzal. Alright guys, up next on this list is one of my personal favorites. It's not really the best defensive tame when you're lining it up with some of these other tames, but it is a good tame for defense and for just roaming around. The Beelzebufo, the Beelzebufo. I don't know, it's the frog. I call them the frogs. Check it out though guys, they are super fast when you level up movement speed, number 1. Number 2 is their attacks stun, just like the Troodons. They're essentially Troodons, but a different tame, different shape, and different speed, different approach. A little stronger health wise, maybe not as fast as the Troodon, but they're a little more accurate with their attacks, I would say. They're usually pretty good about not running up and circling around, and they just attack. These are great defensive tames for playing Torpor and knocking out enemy rocket runners and players. Now, I do want to take a moment, guys, and talk about my goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers and a giveaway. If I hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this weekend, that's Sunday, June 14th, and we'll say 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is midnight Eastern Standard Time. If I hit 1,000 subscribers by that point, I will give away my favorite frog, Tina. That's just the name I picked for her. But she's awesome. I've leveled her up a ton. I will not fix her first, so you can use her for breeding. As you can see, there's that green mutated color on these guys and on Tina, and looks fantastic, let me tell you. Anyways though, if we do hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, I will post a separate video with how to qualify. And if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and definitely subscribe. My name is Dark, and I will see you next time.